Meet Kevin Durant, perhaps the NBA's biggest anomaly. What do I mean when I say this? Kevin Durant, the 6'11 destroyer of defenses, NBA champion, 50-40-90 club member, four-time scoring champion, is more than meets the eye. Naturally, the first thing people react to when they see Kevin in action is, who is this 7-footer cutting the floor up like a guard, pulling up from everywhere with sick handles and a silky smooth jumper? And you're not wrong to ask. I mean, he's 7 feet tall and a 50-40-90 guy. Just let that sink in. And all of this is great and should not be taken away from one of the 25 greatest players to ever step foot onto a basketball court, but consistently throughout his career, there's one glaring question that has hovered over his career since his earliest days in OKC. Can he lead a team of his own to the promised land? Chronicled by his numerous encounters with LeBron James in the regular season, the finals, as well as the Warriors toward the end of his tenure in OKC, the answer materialized into a no. But why was this? Why was a guy this undeniably talented experiencing such hardship and taking that next step to true title contention? Here's what I came up with. Kevin Durant, one of the greatest shooters of all time, can fall a little too in love with the jumper, and sometimes being a leader of a winning team is knowing what type of shots will affect your teammates and in which way. In this era we live in, we see crazy stats of finding some players whom the film suggests aren't as good as the general public thinks they are. And this can be sometimes the case with Kevin Durant. Let's first jump into some statistics to set the stage for you guys and show exactly what I mean. It's worth mentioning before getting into this video that I'm not knocking Kevin Durant, because he is truly one of the greatest players of all time, but as a die-hard Warriors fan, and as someone who watches all of their games, I see this on a nightly basis and thought it would be an interesting first video discussion. Between the years 2010 to 2016, otherwise known as Kevin Durant's Thunder's playoff era, KD's regular season squads produced a 122-82 record in games decided by 5 points or less in the last 5 minutes of the game, while posting a 26-26 record in clutch situations in the playoffs. Now, we could bash his teammates, we could bash the coach, but with players at the level of KD's talent in a 5-point game, those things are essentially irrelevant. It's just between KD and the rim, and of course his shot selection. To narrow our search down, I decided to isolate the year 2015-16, when everything seemed lined up for Kevin and his Thunder to finally return to the finals and challenge LeBron's throne. If you remember, this was a year when the Thunder were the subject of much talk as a team headed by Russ, KD, and the two 7-footers who didn't take anything from anyone. They were finally ready to make a push, or so we thought. Kevin Durant's final playoff series as a member of the Thunder demonstrated everything we're pointing out in this video, so let's take a look. In the final 5 minutes of Game 6 of the 2016 Western Conference Finals, Durant took 3 field goals, which falls right around his regular season clutch field goals attempted of 3.1, and missed all 3 of them. But let's look closer. The first was a straight isolation on Andre Iguodala, a great isolation defender who has decent length and mobility at around 6'7". Without even considering what the Warriors were doing on defense, Kevin opts to give him a simple hesitation and a hard drive to his left before hopping into a mid-range look, drifting toward the baseline. What is so questionable about Kevin Durant's decision here is that the Warriors are a historically smart team who saw this coming and loaded up so they would be in a position to help. So an overall lack of spacing allows Harrison Barnes to slide over and put an extra set of hands in his face. The result, a missed shot. On his second attempt, I'm not exactly sure what the Thunder were going for, but KD drives toward a poorly spaced painted area yet again, and Draymond is able to slide over and cut him off. Now, Kevin Durant is still extremely talented and a hard worker, so he has a counter for this coverage even though he seemingly didn't expect it. You can tell he didn't expect to be cut off by the way his body is positioned before he rises for his jump shot. He has to fully rotate his body to get his elbow aligned with the basket post jump, which leads me to believe he wanted a look at the rim and didn't anticipate anything else. On his third and final look, we see a simple horns call with Ibaka setting a pin down for KD at the elbow. Although I can't read his mind in this moment, it seems Kevin Durant knows he's going to shoot it right away, and that's exactly what he does, despite the fact that Iguodala is in position to contest his shot more than effectively because of, yet again, poor spacing on the floor. In a set like this, you want to give KD more space to run to increase distance between him and his man, which may lead to an overly aggressive closeout and ultimately an easier shot for KD. While the coaches did not, but should have recognized this, it appears KD didn't either, and it's plays like these that generate my thoughts about his shot IQ. Enough talk about the past, though. How and when does this shadow still loom over KD today on the Warriors, and the answer is simple. Whenever Stephen Curry sits out. It's no secret that Steph makes the offense go whenever he's out on the floor, which is by no means a knock on KD. But there are times when Kevin Durant is asked to step into that alpha role, and what we get is a mixed bag. Now, more often than not, we get plays like these. But there are also times when we get this. In this game, the date is December 29th, and Steph is so close to returning the Dubs can practically smell it. Making do up to this point, the Warriors put up a 9-1 record in his absence, but were clearly missing their leader. Going up against the largely inferior Hornets, the Warriors, like many pundits, expected to steamroll the Hornets and see Steph on the other side, but the fans got the exact opposite. The offense really missed its ball-handling, shot-creating wizard, and like no other night in recent memory, it was very apparent. I want to take a look at the third quarter of this game and show you guys just what I mean. Going into the third, KD was 3 of 9, and the offense had completely stalled out. So go to the rim, right? 6'11", with long strides like that, that shouldn't be an issue. Think again. Kevin Durant ended the quarter 3 for 8, having made one layup, but having taken 7 shots from outside of 5 feet. In a game where your team is down in obvious need of energy, you'd like to see your best player step up and take the ball to the rim some more to inject some energy into your teammates and the crowd. Couple that with the fact that layups are higher percentage shots, and your likelihood of getting fouled is increased. The Warriors ended up losing this game, but that's not to say KD wasn't spectacular as always. It's just to say that at times his shot selection can be deflating if they don't go in, which can result in less disappointing losses when he is at the helm of his squad. Again, is this to say Kevin is a bad player? Not at all. He's an incredible player who the Warriors need and have needed every bit of the way going forward. Outside of that, he's a great guy who over the past few months I can tell has really embraced the Warriors' culture of basketball, as his body language communicates he truly loves coming to work each and every day. All this video is meant to do is what this channel is meant to do. Point out things that otherwise are not mentioned in general sports media. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I'm looking to start something with this channel and shed some light on things that I see watching this game that we love. I invite you guys to contribute thoughts in the comments, and I'll make an effort to respond to as many as I can. Thanks guys, and until next time, it's Mondo signing off. Peace.